So good morning. Thank you for attending my keynote this morning. I have to tell you, it's my first time back in Vegas in 3 years, so it's pretty exciting to be back here in person at IWCE. And I'm very happy to have the chance to speak with you this morning. I know you have many events and responsibilities that are competing for your time, so I do appreciate you spending the next few minutes with me as I present how InterTalk is making advanced dispatch a reality right now. My name is Chris Oldham. I'm the President and CEO at InterTalk Critical Information Systems. We are based in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and for those of you who don't know, it's located on the east coast of Canada. I've been with the company since 2004. By the way, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary in business this year, and I've held the role as president for the last 8 years. And in my time here with InterTalk, I've seen our company grow. I believe I was employee number 4, and now we're at well over 60 people, with staff located across multiple cities in North America, including a staging facility in Sacramento, California. At InterTalk, it is our strong belief that dispatch is more than just taking calls and coordinating responders in the field. It's the delivery of the right information at the right time in the right format, with the result of nothing less than saving lives. So we're going to talk about how the future of dispatch is actually here right now today. If you were to run a Google search for future of dispatch, you'd come across about, as I did, 111 million results in 0.47 seconds. And it has a number of articles that go back as far back as the 90s, the early aughts. But the most recent wave of articles and information on the future of dispatch seemed to pick up steam in 2020. Where consultants and vendors and other SMEs tout what the future of dispatch will be. These are ideas that are built on concepts about LTE and MCPTT and how there seems to be a clear demarcation point between traditional radio dispatch, voice-centric, limited data, and the holistic shift towards data-centric platforms. The merits of leveraging data in critical communications environments are very well documented, but where you don't see a lot of information about is how to bridge traditional dispatch, traditional mission-critical voice requirements with the bright, data-driven future. At InterTalk, we provide that bridge, the one that can help public safety agencies of all sizes and scales, from state level down to townships, leverage your existing LMR systems and their operational processes that go with them, with advanced data capabilities now available through broadband networks such as FirstNet or Frontline. We provide this bridge because we understand that there are any number of factors that can impact a given agency's readiness to transition from what they have today. These impacts can be the impact to the dispatcher operations themselves, budget and cost constraints, space, or the lack thereof, that you may have in your back room, mutual aid requirements to surrounding agencies. The list goes on. We find ways of addressing what agencies want and need and how best to supply them. And that is the importance of having that bridge. Back in 1998, InterTalk was the first to develop a truly IP-based radio console system. Now, in those days, when you talk to people about an IP console, they'd look at you funny, and they'd have a degree of fear and uncertainty. But we maintained the merits of operational continuity and the ability to dispatch from anywhere. Our first installation of this IP console was with a utility in Canada, where we enabled a truly distributed disaster recovery dispatch system. It served as an example of how to bridge the gap between what we have now today and what the future state can be. Now, looking back at this example in 1998, it demonstrates how applying future-facing technologies integrated with existing equipment and infrastructure generally becomes the expectation. If you look around public safety agencies now in critical information environments, an IP console is standard. But this was only 20 years ago that we put this system in, and now look how much farther technology has advanced. So although agencies welcome the advancement of technology, there is hesitancy that remains on the part of incorporating new procedures to their workflows? How will upgrading X impact the dispatcher? How long will it take for them to be comfortable with this new technology? Remember, these are the people who are trusted with working with the field responders to help save lives. It's very important that they are comfortable with the tools that they have. Does it have all the features and the settings that the old system has? Typically, when we see a specification for a radio console system, you have that one specification that says the new system must provide the exact same requirements and performance as the old system. And that's great, except for a slight problem. How does a digital system perform exactly the same as an analog system? It's a significant issue. How does one deliver a dispatch system that embraces the newest technologies and allows for the familiarity and the comfort of the existing one? So overcoming this challenge requires a level of understanding and experience and knowledge that InterTalk prides ourselves with having. We have an incredibly bright and diverse development team of over 30 software developers and professional engineers that, combined with their respective areas of expertise, all share a common bond: the desire to make a difference and help people. That's why we engage with dispatchers and technicians directly, to listen and understand the uniqueness of their operations and discover how best to address their challenges. We do not consider ourselves to be the answer for every problem. We are not the solution for everyone. I want to make that clear. That's never been our intent. We want to help where our talents and skills are needed the most, making the most impact we can in our collective mission to help save lives. Now, there are common threads among all critical communication environments, regardless of individual designs: need for uninterrupted voice communications, 5 nines reliability, interoperability with other agencies, and of course, working within tight timelines and budgets. At times, it's a very tall order for agencies to see the forest from the trees when considering how to balance the old with the new. Now, our product design is focused on making as seamless a transition as possible when introducing a new feature or a new technology platform, or even an entire overhaul of a communications network. For example, our latest IP gateway, called the Sentinel, performs many of the standard IP gateway functions that you can see in many products in the industry today, but it is intended to be future-facing and future-looking as much as possible. This will become the entire backroom office of the controls of the console system. A box that's not much larger than a smartphone. It has serial and USB ports to incorporate the ability to interconnect with the latest radios that are coming out from vendors today. Power over Ethernet means less power consumption. But most of all, we focused on the concept of portability, as the Sentinel can be placed anywhere you need to conduct your operations. It's just one example of how future-focused designs serve as a bridge from legacy interconnections. So we must all see by now that the role of dispatch communications is evolving. We see the latest advancements like MCPTT and MCX, and how that protocol is by some being touted as the new P25 for the broadband age. But many of the agencies are just now, today, sourcing and installing P25 systems. Are they going to get left behind? How will they be included as broadband networks like FirstNet and Frontline become more readily adopted? The introduction of real-time data sourcing and artificial intelligence is intended to augment the dispatch experience. But how will already overwhelmed dispatchers adjust to more information? The key is to leverage the information with tools that filter the relevant pieces of data that are important, and displaying that data in a manner that makes decision-making more informed and more expedient. Today, access to some of these data points is available through traditional IP console systems, mapping. But let's just say we introduce a global pandemic. Never going to happen, right? And the health impacts that it places on our in-person work environments. And now maybe you don't have access to that data anymore, because being tethered to the control room is a significant challenge facing critical communications agencies when they consider the people element of operational continuity, as it ties dispatchers to the control center without much flexibility at all. Now, in a recent article that I read from MCP's Bonnie Manny, she outlined some of these factors that are facing ECC staffing or ECC centers in staffing shortages. And these can be exacerbated by health and safety protocols that are put into place in a control room environment to help limit exposures. Now, this is where hosted applications and services emerge to play a significant role in the future of dispatch and public safety communications. You can already see this transitioning happening with cloud-based CAD and NG911 systems being deployed in many cities and states across the country. Many of those challenges we've talked about, like having remote access and providing a safer, more effective workplace health and safety protocols, they're being mitigated by these cloud-based services. At InterTalk, we have developed Nlight, a cloud-based, public safety-grade console service to address many of these same obstacles. Nlight allows dispatchers to conduct their work from any location that you have access from, whether it's over LTE or whether it's over Wi-Fi, even with satellite services, via a standard browser-based interface. Works on any device. You grab and go. Nlight is available as a hosted service, which helps agencies with the costing and budgeting requirements that they have as it moves from a CapEx to an OpEx expenditure. When we began developing Nlight in 2018, we recognized that mobility and operational continuity are key issues faced by the public safety community, and this helped guide our product development. We envisioned a product that created the bridge between the tried and true consoles of today and the consoles and the dispatch functions that we expect to be conducting 10 years from now. It is not a clean cut. It is not a demarcation point. It is a seamless progression. We complement Nlight's data-driven capabilities, such as having an MCX integration, social media filtering, which, by the way, is actually useful in a dispatch environment, geofencing, weather and traffic data, all these different data sources. We combine that with traditional console features like an instant recall recorder and paging and intercoms and radio and telephone patching. And we do that, and you can see that the future of dispatch is already here, and it doesn't leave anyone behind. Now, regardless of what more the future of dispatch may bring, voice remains the foundation of dispatch. You have LMR and P25 protocols. These are platforms that we have relied on for years, and they're not going away anytime soon. The key is to enable them to be connected to future-looking protocols such as MCX, cloud architectures, other IP-based systems and integrations, other information sources, and customize those to suit one's operational needs. That is happening today. That is the today of dispatch. That is how InterTalk is bridging to your bright future. So thank you very much for your attention. It has been my pleasure speaking with you this morning. I appreciate you listening to what I have to say. I'd be very happy to discuss any element of this presentation with you. We are located at booth 1861. Either myself or one of our fabulous staff will be there for the duration of the day. I welcome you to come by and say hi, and enjoy the rest of the IWCE event. Stay safe and take care.